everyone, and welcome in the new episode of Venture Rise. Today we are taking you to Eastern Africa for a deep dive into the Kenyan startup ecosystem, one of the most dynamic innovation hubs of the continent. If you are curious about opportunities in tech, climate, or even blue economy, and you are wondering how ecosystems are built and scaled, then this session is definitely for you. We are very happy to have such an engaged community with us today. Thank you again for joining us. Feel free to turn on your camera if it's possible to make the session more interactive. And for your questions, please drop them in the chat box and our guests will answer them at the end of the session. Now let's get to know more about our special guests, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Mr. David, who will be joining us today. Mr. David is the co-founder and director of SOTU, where he is supported more than 800 entrepreneurs across Kenya and Tanzania, helping ideas grow from idea to market. He is an ex-former board member of AfriLabs, a board member of AfBan, and an advisor of the president of the Kenyan National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. With his expertise at both startup and policy level, he brings first-hand insight into how ecosystems are built, funded, and scaled in East Africa. Mr. David, we are truly honored to have you with us today, and thank you again for accepting the invitation. And now the floor is yours to start your presentation.
Thank you, Haida. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Good. I hope everyone can hear me. Joining you from Mombasa in Kenya.
Alaikum salam.
And it's my pleasure really to engage with you today. Algeria is not new to me. And I think when Nestrim and Haida asked me to speak about Kenya, I was wondering what I can say about Kenya. There are people who go to school known as ambassadors, and they know quite a lot about the country, the diplomatic language. But I think my discussion today is more or less a few points that goes for Kenya that I've observed in my work in the ecosystem, and so I'll be glad to share that with you. Today I was in a 7-hour lecture, but our engagement here is for 1 hour, so I hope that I won't bore you with my monologue, but please write a message, if you have any question. Let's make this as interactive as we can. Happy also to see a narrator joining us from Italy. Hi. We were guests of a narrator sometimes last year, so always a pleasure really to see friends and making connection. Right, so I think I'll dive deep in. So let me try and share my screen. I hope everyone can see. So so I think you already mentioned in terms of what I do, in terms of work I've been able to do in professional life. I wouldn't want to go deep into those details. I think that's already known, but I'm the founder for SOTU, which is a business incubation hub. We work with startups, especially in the blue economy space, for the last 10 years in Kenya. I equally is the convener for Blue Economy Innovation Investment Summit, which is one of the largest events in this region in terms of having partners come together to celebrate what blue economy portends, basically. But that's not what I am. I think I will let me move it. My screen cannot move.
You can just click directly by the mouse in the second slide.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to sort out the movement. So just hold on a minute. Okay, there you go. Okay. Figure out. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so, but who is David as a person? I'm a family man, happily married. I hope there's a word like that. Marriage is not easy nowadays. I'm lucky my wife is not in the call, so father of two. But beyond that, of course, is my love for nature. So I spend quite a bit of time. All my background was in wildlife conservation, so that's where my grounding was. And in particular, I love elephants. Where we are located is near Tsavo National Park, which is the largest national park in Kenya, with almost 15,000 elephants. So sometimes I volunteer my time to work with Kenya Wildlife Service to support in terms of, we have cases, maybe an elephant has gone into a ditch or there's injuries. So we are able to mobilize people from veterinary department to maybe go and treat the animals and release them back into the wildlife. That's perhaps one of my happy moments in life. I like bird watching. So I do that quite a bit, especially when I'm in a national park. I have everywhere I go, I try to develop a checklist of birds. Last year I was in Seattle, in the US. So I wanted also, because Seattle is near the ocean, so I wanted to go see in terms of birds, the water birds. I paid $20. I think there is this agency, government agency that supports that you can be able to go with them to do the bird watching and stuff. But I think I only saw 2 birds, so it was a bit disappointing.
Excuse me. The slides are frozen. We can't see when you are moving on the slides.
No, I haven't moved.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep moving, but I haven't moved.
Okay.
Yeah, so very strong in terms of bird watching and that. But something else also that I enjoy is planting trees. For the last maybe 5 years, we've planted close to 150,000 mangroves. As you know, we have the global warming and stuff. The mangroves are able to sequester 3 times carbon compared to terrestrial forests. So, and they're part of the ocean forest, which includes kelp and seagrass. So yeah, so that's basically who I am as a person. But then I have a bit of Algerian connection. I've been to Algeria maybe 3-4 times. On the picture on the extreme right, I think we were co-founding AFBAN. AFBAN is African Business Angel Network, which is an angel network meant to mobilize capital for African startups. And with me there is my good friend Sid Ali. Sid Ali, I think now is your Minister for Telecommunications, very good guy. And together we managed to form this AFBAN. So the picture on the bottom, at the bottom is 17 distinguished men and women that had this vision. And so Algeria always holds a special memories for me. Then the picture on the extreme left is I have come, I think, twice for what we call the African Startup Conference, which is organized by the Algerian Ministry for ICT and Digital Economy. And in this case, I brought 6 Kenyan startups. They came to exhibit. So we like quite a lot in terms of this kind of exchanges, because they're able to meet also colleagues in the same or different sectors. They're able to meet also the potential partners and funders. And this is part of them building their international connection. So I would say that's quite a bit about my Algerian journey, and always really a pleasure to come and connect. Now, I want to ask this quick question. Where do you think this picture was taken? So you can just unmute your mic. And if you know the answer, I'll try and count 10 seconds, because otherwise people now will go to ChatGPT. Who can guess? Where is this picture taken?
I didn't hear your question.
Sorry?
I didn't hear your question, sorry.
The question is in which city was this picture taken in the world?
Excuse me, we can't see any pictures.
Exactly. He didn't see
There's
any
no picture
yet. No, there's
no picture.
No, there is only your presentation with your principal page, the first page of your presentation
page.
only.
Oh, okay. So I think maybe there's a problem. Let me try and fix that in a while. Sorry.
Now we can see.
And now
picture.
can you see?
Yes, we can see picture.
So, and also seen the photos that have changed, yeah?
Yeah, you have changed the photos. Yes.
Oh, okay. Now it's working better now. Okay, sorry. You stay here.
So what's
Please.
the question again?
Yes, so I think maybe even before I go the question, because you missed the interesting part. So this was my trip in Algeria. So I was talking about bringing 6 startups. The photo on the left, the photo on the bottom was AFBAN, African Federation of Business Angel Network. Then where we formed this network of angels that is meant to mobilize capital in Africa. And then the picture on the right is, of course, with Mr. Sid Ali, who is your telecommunications minister, and also we were forming this AFBAN. So now this was a question. Has the slide moved?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes,
good.
yes.
Yeah, so the question was, in which city was this picture taken?
Kenya,
This is Nairobi,
Mombasa?
Nairobi National Park.
Oh, good.
Nairobi.
The people who said Nairobi got it right, not Mombasa. Yeah, well done. So this is actually Nairobi. Nairobi is the only capital city in the world with a game park inside the city. So you can actually take these photos with the backdrop of the skyscrapers, and so Kenya is known really for wildlife safaris, the Big Five, and quite a lot of adventures. Do you have giraffes in Algeria?
Not anymore.
I don't
Not
think so,
anymore.
no.
Yeah, so please come. Please come.
No, I don't know.
Please come. Yeah. And then something else Kenya is known for. I hope my slides can move now.
Yes, they are moving.
Oh, good. So again, Kenya is known for long distance running. I think there's a problem with other countries, because they always take position 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Kenya is a powerhouse when it comes to long distance running, athletics, and even in the Olympics. I think we try and get as many medals as we can. There's always very good competition from Algeria, but I can give you some secrets after the meeting. So if you want more medals, definitely. Right. So let's dive in and to the topic of the day, and what makes Kenya what it is in terms of attracting ventures, new capital, in terms of the startup ecosystem that I would say has been quite successful over the years. And I will say that it's not a one-off event. Success is an issue on consistency. So there are some events that have happened and which I would say generally has contributed to the overall position where Kenya finds itself in. And so I'll take you through a quick journey of where we started, where we've been, and where we are. And I may not be able to go into all the details and also all the years, but yeah, I hope that we can be able to share quite a bit. So let me start here with the smartphone. In 2005, if I try to connect the dots, in 2005, the prices of cell phone came down drastically. Before they were very expensive. I mean, a cell phone could cost easily like $1,000. And then the prices came to $200, to $100. What that means is that many people were able to obtain the smartphone. And additionally, then government invested in internet. So with laying a lot of sea submarine cables in the Indian Ocean. What that did is that it brought the cost of internet down. I remember internet in 2005 and below, it could be as high as $10 or $5. Actually, $5 to $10 for 1 GB, like 1 gigabyte. Today is 50 cents over $1. What that does is that internet opens, it's like a digital workshop. It's a connector. It's also a university of opportunities. It's a marketplace. And these are the ingredients for a thriving ecosystem. But that was not alone. In 2007, we had something again very important happening in Kenya, and that's the birth of M-Pesa. M-Pesa comes from the word mobile, which is M, and then Pesa is Swahili word for money. And so this is mobile money. So, and you can literally pay anything with it. You can pay your groceries, you can pay school fees, you can pay your rent, you can pay your meal. So anything literally. And today, almost 70% of the population use M-Pesa. Before M-Pesa, you find that almost 80% of the population were excluded from what I will call mainstream banking or financial services. But M-Pesa has been able to bring this kind of integration. Actually, it's estimated that it moves close to 6% of Kenya's GDP moves through M-Pesa. So it's quite substantive. I don't remember the last time I had paper money. I don't carry any paper money. I only use it. I have to get paper money when I travel outside Kenya because some countries have not been able to adopt that or something, or other countries have different modes of payments. But very, very interesting is that when M-Pesa was coming into the space, the banks were against M-Pesa and they were telling government, how comes a telecom or a mobile company is allowed to move money? They should register as a banking for banking services or something like that. But then it took the intervention of government to actually allow M-Pesa. So what we now have is that even the banks are now innovating around M-Pesa. So there are different product lines, whether it's insurance, insurance cover for whatever it is, all the risks that is involved, and different credit products that they give to their customers. But also the startups. The startups also have to innovate, and M-Pesa is a very integral part of payment and exchange in our market space. So that, for me, again, becomes a very important beacon in our ecosystem journey. Then in 2008, something not very nice happened. We had a post-election violence. And as we are aware, sometimes in our countries, the person who people think will win the elections is not announced as the winner. And so I think in this, I remember very well this situation we had a guy leading by almost 1 million votes. And we knew, oh, now we have a new president. But the next day, another guy is sworn in. So what happens is that the supporters are not happy with this. So there is violence, and it was so widespread. Now, there are two sides of a coin. I will tell you why violence sometimes gets you to the next stage. Because during that kind of crisis we had as a country, and I respect many countries, every country has their own history and they have their moments and they have their challenges and areas where sometimes things not go okay. But we had Ushahidi, so we had some techie people, they came up together and like, hey, look, there's violence, some people, their deaths that are reported, there's destruction of property. Why don't we build a crowdsourcing platform where citizens can be able to report? And we get, and it becomes like a warning or awareness or early warning system for when you are traveling, because okay, there's a hotspot here. And it's difficult, so I should not go there, etc. So Ushahidi came up from young techies, and it really was a big step, because the citizens now are now informed. They could be given tips also in terms of also the security people are using this kind of platform. So it became really a game changer in a difficult moment. Then in 2010, remember, and we need to connect the dots. So the internet is cheap. Smartphone is also cheap. We have techies, a community of techies developing. Now they needed a space, and that's how iHub was built up. And iHub, I would say, was probably the first innovation hub or a co-work space in this part of the region. Maybe even in Africa. I need to check that. But I know iHub in Nairobi, and then CC Hub in Nigeria were quite the pioneers of the ecosystem as we know it today. But what iHub launch did is that it inspired many other similar spaces. Today we have close to 150 innovation hubs that have sprung up. So, and not just in Nairobi, we have also going into the secondary cities, and it's because of the motivation of iHub coming up. I think iHub was able to move close to $500 million in terms of investment that was going direct to the startups. So it's quite a buzz. And that was also the time that we coined the name Silicon Savannah from Silicon Valley, kind of. And Kenya leadership also in this space started to come up. Now, we see government now was opening up. So we have a growing community of techies. We have innovation hubs opening up. Remember the population violence we had in 2008. So what happened is that the two functions came together and they formed a coalition government, which I would say was the best thing that could have ever happened to us, because there are people who do not really like each other. So it means they can't do shady deals together, as sometimes as we see. And so they were almost checking each other. Everyone was checking each other and stuff like that. So what happened is that with internet, with growing ecosystem coming up, the government also opened up. So we have what we call Kenya Open Data Initiative. What that means is that all government projects and all ministries, they were housed in a common portal. So you could see what projects are going where. That's number one. Number two is now we have almost 20,000 government services, all digitally housed. So what this means is that you can apply for a business license. You don't need to visit physically a government office. You fill in the form, upload, you will be called to collect the hard copy, and sometimes they send you the hard copy on email. You can apply for driving license, you can pay for birth certificate for your child, marriage certificate in case you're getting married. You can buy property, land. You just need to fill in the details in the online portal. So what we have is that we had a lot of government services moved online, and that helps. That's good for business. And in between also we had Kenya Vision 2030. So and Vision 2030 was now a pillar that was to move Kenya from a third world to an industrial nation. And remember, this is the grand coalition government. So the ruling party and the opposition came together. So and I would say this perhaps was one of the best moments for us in the country, because one of the key pillars of the Vision 2030 in 2013 was ICT. So ICT was the backbone to drive growth. And in that, we had Konza Technopolis, which is a 14.4 billion technopolis, a city of some sort with BPO, business processing outsourcing, data centers. They have data centers that are running on renewable energy, so from geothermal, I think also one of the very first in this part of the world, and literally all government data is stored in that space. But there's something also interesting that happened in 2016. We opened our hub. So SOTU hub officially opened in 2016. A proud moment for us, of course. And of course we were inspired by the overall transformation that we could see happening also in other sectors, and we deliberately chose to not to be in Nairobi. We chose to first in Voi, which is a smaller town, and then secondly we moved to Mombasa. And today I would say we are what I call a blue economy hub of Africa, the blue economy hub of Africa. So we work with techies or entrepreneurs in the blue economy space, whether it's in the aquaculture and the fisheries, whether it's in the renewable energy, in the ocean waves and the tidal waves, whether it's in the marine tourism aspect, whether it's the logistics, shipping and shipbuilding, and some also very good impact stories, I will say. Between 2014 and 2025, about 1,000 new jobs were created. Our portfolio of startups raised close to $4.3 million US. We also try and track in terms of the impact on the environment. For example, 6,000 metric of plastic waste, and also 4,000 metric of CO2 of the environment, and about 4,000 MSMEs connected digitally to access to market. And so these I would say are some of the few impacts that I would say SOTU Hub has been able to generate. Now, as we switch gears, we are still in 2016. When we started our hub, Kenya, overall, all the startups in the country were raising only about 100 million. All the startups in the country. In 2022, just after COVID, Kenyan startups were raising $1 billion. So what do you think happened? What do you think changed really? But if you look at the journey that we've come through, I mean, with the open of internet, with the investment in infrastructure, with the mushrooming of ecosystem, and many other supporting environment, so it's not really a surprise, because within, this is 2016, 100 million, then 2022 you have $1 billion. So that's close to 6 years, and it's massive growth. This is a very interesting map. And is the latest, showing the funding in Africa. And for example, you see Kenya is here. I hope the map. Can you see the map? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, good. I can see the map. Yes, carry on.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
for every $3 coming into Africa, $1 was coming to Nairobi. So picture that. And then other countries, for example, so we raised, for example, last year is $1 billion. Now Egypt was second, I think, with close to 600. South Africa was 19%. Nigeria was, I think, 11%. But I'm interested also in what's happening in other countries. I think this is a small country next to Nigeria, Benin. And Benin, I think, raised 100. And then on the extreme left is Senegal, that raised 157. So Senegal is somewhere here on the extreme, almost at the edge. I think that's where also the Atlantic Ocean is. And Ghana is here, Togo and other countries, Cote d'Ivoire and the rest. Now, where is Algeria? Algeria is here. I think I'm correct, right? So this is Algeria.
Yes.
And I think this is Tunisia. And I think this is Morocco. And in terms of the numbers, so I was not able to get any numbers in terms of startups, how much funding was raised in Nigeria. Do any of you guys know?
No.
Last year? Okay. Do you think it's an issue of data? Because Algeria is such a big economy, probably the third in GDP in Africa. So I'm sure there's some funding raised. So maybe this is a question we can ask. Could it be the data is not available, or anyone know something about it?
Well, if you're talking about the fundraising locally or at the
Yes.
international level,
Locally in Algeria, yes.
there is no data for shared for those kind of informations.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was thinking to myself that Algeria is such a strong economy that should be somewhere here.
Actually, there is like, because there are mechanisms for the fundraising, but it's governmental, and there is a big number.
Yeah.
But for the private sector, there is no information for that.
It's no information. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but when I came to Algeria, I think there was a very big project by ministry in terms of local funding by government, also in terms of startup laws. So I hope this information definitely will start becoming available. Now, what kind of funding do we see coming to Kenya? And thanks for the information. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, what kind of information in terms of funding that comes to Africa? I think there are many in shades and colors. At the very early stage, I think as a startup or a business person, you need a lot of grants, maybe, because you are still building, you are testing quite a lot of stuff. You may not be able to take the commercial loan. Then as the business grows, of course, now you can maybe participate in venture studios, accelerator, and now I see quite a lot of concessional funds, like the hybrid type. So we see a lot of concessional funds also, and blended capital also playing quite a bit, because in blended capital you could get, for example, it's a mix of different capital available. So let's say technical assistance facility, so you get a grant, and then the grant also is with the equity capital. And what I see quite common in Kenyan way is, even if you take equity from the early stage startups or growth stage startups, they will use instruments like SAFE, which is simple agreement for future equity. And what I see quite a bit also in the Kenyan space is, and maybe also in African stage, is I know sometimes there's this saying that there's no capital, but I think the issue sometimes is information also on what capital you require for your business. Because if you are in early stage startups and you are speaking with the VCs, it's not the right time to speak with the VCs, because VCs are in the business of making money. They want 2-year, 3-year exit and make a return of 3x or 10x. So puts a lot of pressure out on the founder. So you perhaps better off with maybe working in an incubator or maybe if there's technical assistant from NGOs and stuff. But as you grow your business, as you reach maybe scale and maturity, then now you have the confidence because you have grown the structures. So you can also take debt from commercial loans from banks, etc. So we see this kind of hybrid. There is different stages with the different funding available, and yeah. So maybe I can speak a little about that. I wouldn't speak much about this, but today this is the Kenyan scenario. I think we have. So you see, in many sectors it has grown. So many co-work spaces are opened up, and including incubation hubs, almost 150. There are networking events, many networking events. I think even this week alone, there is the Africa Tech Summit happening in Nairobi. Then there is, I think the other time we had a climate summit also happening in Nairobi. And so many events that always, either Kenya ICT, SunCalp Forum. SunCalp is also quite popular. And I have a lot of friends coming all the way from Europe and the US just to attend the SunCalp and many things. You can literally sit in Nairobi and attend events as a hobby. So there are many tech events, and I think those are areas for connections. Public sector is also innovating. I think I've talked about it. We have about 74 universities, public universities. I think it's public and private. So it means access to education is quite high. We have close to maybe 40 VC firms with offices in Nairobi. What we see is that the VCs will always open their office in Nairobi, and then they will move regionally, especially in East Africa region. So it means that that Nairobi has quite many of those kind of investors coming to and looking for portfolios. But maybe this is a very interesting slide. Is this what I have observed working for us, and yeah, not based on any material I got anywhere else. Just what I observe also as a player in the sector. I think one of the things that works for us is education. So the population, the high literacy rate, almost 84%. I think we are almost at the same level with Algeria in terms of literacy rate. Your literacy rate is in French, ours is in English. So that's the only difference. But both of our populations are highly educated. So that's quite good, because what that means is that you can get skilled, trained people. We have a lot of engineers working in big tech, in Tesla, in Google, in Microsoft, and in design labs all over the world. And you dig deep, you find they're from Kenya. So and I think I think it's because of the education system. We have very flexible labor relations and regulations. Labor is also cheap. Now, in Kenya, if you're an Algerian and you want to open up your business here, you are allowed to own 100% of the company. Before, you had to cede some shareholding to a local Kenyan person. I mean, you must probably get a partner that is Kenyan by definition for you to surpass the registration process. I don't know about in Algeria whether I can come in and own 100% of a company. You can let me know in the chat section. But I think that law in itself encourages foreign investors. It has its pros and cons. The pros is you get investment flowing in. The cons, of course, is that you have to control in terms of the kind of business being set up. And I think the law tries and regulates in terms of what you can set up or what can be registered. Kenya is very strategic in terms of location. We host UN Habitat, UNEP, United Environmental Program. So most of the UN staff and events are happening here. Last year, there have been a lot of debate, especially with the policy shift also in the US, where the US government is pulling out from a lot of these international treaties, and Kenyans are like, okay, let's move the UN headquarters from New York to Nairobi, and we host it here for the world. So I think that's that. I've talked about the formal financial services, M-Pesa, but something about Kenya is also a very warm, welcoming culture. If you have watched The Lion King, Hakuna Matata, I'm sure you're familiar with this. Hakuna Matata means no problem. So no problem. No problem, yes. But we do have problems. So we do have problems. So yeah, so Kenyan culture is very warm. I think we've been wired, even when we were growing up, to treat foreigners and visitors better than sometimes we treat. I mean, when I was growing up in the household, there were certain utensils like cups, dishes, that I only see them when there's a visitor coming. For us, when you were growing, you have to use the normal ones. So I think there is a pedigree attached to visitors and people coming to visit, and that kind of culture, I think, has maybe resonated in a way. But lastly is the entrepreneurial spirit. We don't give up. Culture is embraced and celebrated. There are certain events in which we just speak about the failures, not the successes. And people share tears. There are shoulders to lean on. I think this is how the ecosystem grows, because and sometimes when you see somebody saying, I'm a serial entrepreneur, that just means that he has failed many times. So it's not really that he's been succeeding in all those stuff. So I would say these are tips. These are things that I think I have observed. There could be more out there, definitely, that I would say works really well. Some of the well-known brands in Kenyan ecosystem, we have quite a mix, I would say. For example, Basic Go is public. I think this is solar-powered. Electric public transport. They raised last year, I think, almost $40 million in terms of funding. M-Copper is energy access in the rural area. I think they have raised almost 500 million so far. And sometimes in the rural area, the off-grid, the main grid is not accessible. So it means solar is a very viable alternative. Octavia Carbon, these guys are capturing CO2, that's carbon dioxide, from the atmosphere and using green energy. And they are chemically, of course, converting it into compounds that are buried underground. So it's a carbon kind of capture in a way that I think they also get carbon credits. Sun Culture is into agriculture. So they have the drip irrigation, the pumps, and the accessories for farming, all solar powered. I think is one of the companies that raises quite a lot of money, Sun Culture, as well as Sun King. Sun King is also one of those solar. So I will say that the renewable energy, especially solar, last year had almost 6% shares in terms of the funds raised coming into Kenya. So it means it's a sector that is thriving, and the companies I show you here, they're not necessarily serving Kenya. So they establish in Kenya and then scale. A lot of them are also in 5, 6, 7 other countries in Africa, and of course majority of them started in Africa. So if you are, my friends from Algeria, looking to invest or looking to, now I'm speaking like an ambassador, encouraging foreign investors. So yeah, but these are the sectors to think about: agtech, health, education, fintech, cleantech, e-commerce. These are all sectors that still are open. But on the graph on the right, on the y-axis, you see in terms of the strength. So low means that uptake is still low. For example, e-commerce and smart cities and blue tech. Blue tech is now where we are strong at. Medium means already the traction is quite high. And I would say fintech, I could even put fintech as high. So fintech really has gone quite high. But yeah, so these are all sectors. When I came to Algiers, I used Yassir. Yassir is Algerian's first unicorn, if I'm not wrong. But I keyed them into my smartphone. I was able to download the app. And so every time I come to Algiers, I move around using Yassir. So please, you need to ask them to come to Nairobi, to come to Mombasa, including General Embledge. And I think Kenya is very welcoming to foreign brands and entrepreneurial people coming. This is also very important because the work that I do quite a lot is also looking at the climate lens. So in terms of in terms of production, in terms of the climate resilience, in terms of clean energy, the transport, the waste management, and these are all areas. I will give you an example. For example, Placom, these are the companies you see at the bottom. These are from SOTU. So Placom, for example, is turning plastic waste into cooking gas. And so they're able to compress the cooking gas and are selling it as units to households from marine plastic. So quite innovative. Rio Fish is in aquaculture and has done quite a bit in terms. I think they have close to 20 or so fish ponds and using technology to connect to market. Kuza Freezer is in the cold chain. E-bikes is into electric bike. Sea Ventures is in the upcycling fish waste from the market, and they're turning it into fish feed. They were actually one of the startups that were lucky enough to go to Italy at Siambare, where Anarita is. So there are 4 Kenyan companies, and Sea Ventures is one of them. Kaino is building electric batteries. And so there are many opportunities in terms of if you are looking to invest and what we see moving: electric boats, robotics and hardware, cold chain, gas and cooking equipment, carbon capture, hydropower, and et cetera, and et cetera. So I think it's quite still open. As I come almost to the end of it, my discussion, it's not all roses and like everything seems to move for the Kenyan ecosystem. The average Kenyan startups goes through the usual challenges you find anywhere else in the world. They struggle for especially startup funding and startup capital. They struggle for congested market opportunities. I am one advocate for AfTA, which is meant to open up markets in Africa, not just market, but also the space. When I come to Algiers, or when you guys come to Nairobi, I think your flights have to go to Europe is when you come to Nairobi. I also, last time I came to Algiers, I went to Frankfurt. I flew to Frankfurt and then Frankfurt to Algiers. And so the logistics challenges that we experience as startups, so these are quite common. And so the trajectory of businesses will always follow this kind of lineage growth. So where at the ideation, you burn a lot of cash, almost 70% of them die in what we call the valley of death. But then a few of them, maybe 10%, are able to survive to high growth to profitable. And I think maybe this is also naturally how ecosystem works, just the same way in nature, that's how it works. I mean, you are eating somebody or you'll be eaten by another. So it just works that way. So yeah, so the typical Kenyan startup also go through these kind of challenges. I will leave you with this phrase, which is from a very prominent Kenyan athlete, Eliud Kipchoge, who says that no human is limited. And I think when you put your mind to it, and especially usually my advice to entrepreneurs is three things. One is be hungry, stay hungry, innovate in terms of innovation, in terms of trying new ideas, in terms of reaching your customers and being better in what you are doing. And two is the resilience. So the startup journey is not a short sprint, it's a marathon, just like Eliud, what he does. But do you guys know the average marathon is 4 hours race. So 40 kilometers you are running. You need a bit of endurance. And of course, a lot will happen in between. Many people do not reach the finishing line. And so that's the same way as running a startup. So you need a lot of resilience to survive in the game. And lastly is the networks, the relations that you build, the people that you meet, the customers, the way you treat them. I think that comes back, and that is what actually builds your business. So here, that's my email address. You can get me on LinkedIn. Shukrani. It was a pleasure to speak with you. I hope you were able to get one or two things, but if you did not get anything, then you can go with the phrase, no human is limited. I thank you, and back to you.
عفوا. In Arabic, when you say someone say shukran, we say afwan. So thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, I learned.
Afwan. Yes.
Thank you.
So allowed me to thank you for your presentation, Sir David, and for sharing these insightful points about Kenya. To be honest, I'm truly impressed by the Kenyan ecosystem, the opportunities and the potential of this ecosystem. And I believe that our entrepreneur will also find the ecosystem very interesting. So now we will give them the chance to engage. So we will open the floor for them questions. So you can easily raise your hand and unmute yourselves, or you can drop your question directly in the chat box. But before, I would like to start this section, and my question is, what opportunities do you see for North African startups wanting to collaborate with the East Africa, or especially Kenya?
I think you'll go to the slide. I think there's a slide I shared in terms of the sectors that we see are quite in terms of well developed. If you are looking for where already this is already well developed, fintech, for example, is one of those areas that I think Kenya is strong at, especially with mobile money and M-Pesa, and it's quite the system is well developed. But also in other sectors, for example, in agri-tech, sectors, for example, like tourism, and these are all open sectors that is available. But then also you also need to look at the green field. So these are areas that are not well developed or not well, we still have maybe opportunity to build it better. For example, in the blue economy space, where SOTU Hub is strong at, and the blue economy space for me is one of those areas that is crying for new ideas and new opportunities, whether it's in the renewable energy, the solar, the tidal energy, in the desalination, whether it's in the tourism. Last December, I think I met an Algerian startup. He is in tourism. and I think he won some investment. So he was coming to Nairobi to be, and I managed to pair him up with another tourism company based in Nairobi, and that I thought they are all looking at the same tour product, so it therefore means that they could be able to collaborate. So I think the sector is definitely fund-wide, yeah. But for specific cases, we can always discuss. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting, by the way. Thank you so much for answering my questions. So, do we have any questions, or we can move just to the chat box to read the questions sent by?
Well, for me,
Okay.
I want to say hi. I want to say hi to
Hi.
David. It is
Oh,
always a pleasure to see you.
oh, my friend, how are you?
How are you? Doing good.
So you know you're each other, okay?
Yeah.
And and also to Anarita. I hope you're doing great, Anarita.
Hi. And just I would like to thanks and to greet David and also you, Yusuf. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you, David, for your very interesting overview of the innovation ecosystem in Kenya. And I had the opportunity in these years of the project in which we work together to know a little bit better the country and what is inside in this field. And really, it's always I'm impressed from the vitality, we can say, of the panorama of the actors, of the stakeholders that are in. And I hope also that this experience even of our project, for example, that put together different countries, different realities, is also a positive aspect for the different ecosystem in Africa, and not only in Africa, to have this relationship, because as you said before, networking is really very important from all the point of view, some from relations, for occasion, for opportunities of working together, and also to share knowledge, to share experience. And so this is our aim, of an organization like SIAM, that is in which I am. So this is our role, to put you in contact one with the other. And so I hope that was also for you a positive experience, and it's just the beginning to continue to, whenever there is the opportunity, to continue to work together and to be in contact and explore the possibility both for startups like you, Youssef, and also for the incubator BSO like SOTU Hub. And so I hope also to come very soon in Kenya to have
Yes.
to meet directly the stakeholder and in an event, and then I hope that we will do it in the next months. Sure.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you so much. And also,
Thank you so much.
thank you to Leancubator to host this interesting opportunity, and also to them. There was another very successful partner in our project. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anarita. Thank you.
Thank you, Narita. It's always a pleasure to come to Italy. See here, Mbari is like second home for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, David, I have a question.
Yes.
I've been part of a new program established in Kenya. It's AI Forum. Last week, I think it was. It was very interesting, and I want to know more details if you have more information about it.
Yeah, thanks for the question. So which program is that?
It's AI Forum.
AI forum. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think do you have a setup in AI you want to explore or
Yeah. I've been selected one of the African startups, promising startups by the program by I Hub for
okay.
development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please send me an email. So David at SOTU.
I have a startup in AI too. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Sorry, I chopped in.
Okay. Please send
My
me.
name is okay. My
Mhm.
name is Radwan Alauddin from Nigeria also, and I do have a startup in AI. Actually, I build a SaaS app
Yeah.
that contains human services and AI services all in one place, under two conditions: quality and supervision. AI quality and AI supervision. So the global idea is we can combine all the SaaS and services in one app. Like I said, under two conditions: quality and supervision. Now I am around 60 to 70% from the final product.
Okay.
Okay, and I really want to know how can I start with programs like accelerators or any programs you might I don't know,
Okay.
guide me.
Okay. No, I think for and your name is
My name is Radwan. You can call me Dean.
D.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Leancubator could be perhaps the starting point. And for my friend that is coming to Kenya, welcome. Please send me also more information because Kenya we have what we call an AIM ambassador. So from the office of the president. Actually, I wanted to bring him to the startup conference in 2024, but then there was a bit on a challenge, Mr. Philip Thigo. And so, yeah, so I think we can always see if there are opportunities to link you up with the programs already happening to Kenya and initiatives happening to Kenya. I'll be happy to be a good bridge for you, and see, because I think there's quite a lot going on in our ecosystem now, especially on AI, and
Oh,
government is quite invested in it as well. Yeah.
yeah. And it was a big number of investment last week. Well, it was announced at the AI forum. It
Okay.
was like $11 billion for infrastructure, and it will be held in Kenya. It will be
Okay.
the center of AI. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Yeah, I
interesting.
think I am interested. So I think you send me, and then I'll ask around in terms of how that is going. And if you come to Nairobi, definitely we link up. Yeah.
I will. I will.
Okay.
Say hi to Robert and Faith and the guys. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why they are not here. They should have been
And
here.
next one
Yeah.
also.
Okay. All right.
I have to say goodbye. I have another meeting.
All right.
Oh,
Okay,
Take
thank you
care.
so much, Yusuf.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you
Yusuf.
so much. Have a good
Uh,
All
day.
we
right.
have,
Thank you.
we have a raised hand by Sid Ahmed. Sid Ahmed, can you hear us?
Yeah, I definitely can hear you all.
Yes, so you can
So,
ask your question.
okay, first of all, thank you, Mr. David, for your presentation. I really was amazed. You early mentioned about the blue tech, and you are, I think you are from Economy Blue, if I am not wrong, of
Yeah.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
my first question is about on the economy. Ask if Kenya does have Artemia cultivation or microalgae cultivation like Duna lilia.
I think in terms of the microalgae, I will not say it's. I don't think it's at commercial scale. What we do have is seaweed. There is quite a lot of movement on seaweed farming. I think Kenya is 2 weeks ago, I also met the ambassador for Indonesia, and so there are investors also coming to work with some groups to grow and then set up a processing factory. But in terms of the microalgae, no. Yeah, so if that's an area of interest, yeah.
What about Artemia?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Artemia. Does Kenya do the Artemia cultivation?
Can you type it? Type it, please.
Okay.
Just a
Yeah.
moment. We have Radwan. He raised his hand. Can you hear us, Radwan?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
So, hello. So you can ask your question to Sir David.
So to Mr. David, I already explained to him before about my startup, and I'm trying to get more information about how can I scale up. And
you asked about the AI, right? I think Rado asked about, are you the one who asked about the meeting in AI forum in Nairobi?
hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm listening.
So can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, I introduced my startup. I said it's called TaskID, and it's SaaS platform that contains human services and AI services. I already integrated the database of around or over 200 million service provider all over the world globally. So you can now, whenever you type any service, you will find and in anywhere in the world. Okay. And also I integrated a lot of type of AI. So now I am my app. It's able to do a normal chat. It can do searching, thinking, creating, building business, a lot of the different niches of AI servicing. So now I'm about 80%, 70 to 60% of the final product. Okay, and I want to know how can I scale up. Any programs you might guide me to? Any?
Okay, I think in this situation, one I think is always to get to understand where you are, what stage you are in, and what's the next level? What's the next level? Because for me, and I speak with a lot of startups, so in our space, I mean, every stage you require different set of tools, set of support environment, whether you are building AI or you are in agri-tech or fintech, whatever sector you are in. So I think if we are able to get an understanding, we can help also through the Leancubator, and maybe it could be you need collaboration with a more mature company that's already launched in the market. So maybe you need that kind of technical expertise to take it to the next level. Maybe you need to test different product line or something. Maybe you need funding, or maybe you need technical, whatever it is that you require. I think once we do a diagnosis, and then we can be able to ascertain maybe at what kind of resources or what kind of opportunities then we can be able to link you up with. And maybe this is an area that we can take after the meeting. Yeah. Then where we can be able to go into the details. Yeah.
I already have your email, so I will send you an email.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome. Mohammed, Artemia, I have no idea. So I have to be honest, no idea about Artemia. And it is very sad because I'm near Kilifi. Kilifi is just 50 kilometers away from me. So I'm glad to learn about this from you. So are you involved directly, or do you want to find out is this an area of interest for you?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. So then again, I think this is something that we can take up also after the meeting, because this is blue economy. This is ocean economy and kind of value chains that I think is critical in terms of fishery. So I'm happy to learn. Definitely, I think I saw the article and it's already established. I'll can try and find out who is behind it, and if there are also opportunities to then link you up with the actors in that space. No problem. Normally we have a big summit known as Blue Economy Summit every October, but this year we are not holding it. This year there is what we call our Ocean Conference, which is happening in Mombasa. It's a global conference, and we are already involved in part of. We'll be making some presentations. We'll also just be part of the panels, and it's free to attend. So if you want to attend, and I think that's a very good space also for you to come and learn, because when you come there, you get connected to the global community, probably startups and innovators, the tech people, the funders that are in that space. So so this is, I think, will be a very nice thing, and it is happening on 18th of June, maybe 18th to 21st of June. So let's take that forward. If you are coming, then we can link up here.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
I have the last question. From your experience in the blue economy sector, can you give us advice for develop our innovation idea to start up companies? So what we should focus on more?
I always tend to give this same advice. So whether blue, whether green economy, whatever it is. And for blue economy, this is even more important for me because that's actually the sector where we are in. The key thing always is to innovate a solution that is solving a current problem. So you need really to have a deep dive and have a very deep understanding on what challenges the user is facing. Because when you are able to get that kind of understanding, then it's easy, because at the end of the day, you are coming up with a product or service that you sell. So the challenge of coming up without a customer in mind is it's kind of ends up as a hobby, or you will not be able to attract funding, because nowadays I also see a lot of funders are also looking at the market. It should be market led, so you need to start from the market. So you need to be able to solve a need, and literally in blue economy there are many. Luckily for you, there are many sectors in the blue economy space. Whether in the aquaculture is wide. I don't know about Algeria, but for example, we import close to 300,000 metric tons of fish. So it means we can't supply enough fish for our community. So what that means is that we need to do fish farming. So that's already a market for you. Whether it's in the tourism space, that I also think, especially for sustainable tourism, regenerative tourism, again, we have customers or travelers that are now conscious on the ecological footprint of their activities. So again, that's another space for you. So depending on really on where your interest is, where your expertise is, and where you probably think customers are, and I think this you need to understand also the market. What does the market require? Then you go for it.
Okay. And which one I most focused more as a start? Is B2B or B2C?
I think B2C is always easy because it's not very sophisticated. I will always say, in my perspective, if let's say, for example, you are in the fish value chain and maybe you are developing a technology for the women group, or you want to be a supplier for women group, that maybe fish traders. So if you are able to solve their challenge maybe is accessing products or the raw materials. Maybe their challenge is the distance, maybe the challenge is financial access. So if you are able to unlock that for me, then you have a business. So I always tend to think, because B2B sometimes takes quite a bit of time, and you also need a bit of research to understand also the needs of another company. But B2C is always easy to go directly on the grassroots and build something.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. David.
Welcome.
I gotta.
All right, so I guess we have all the questions. Oh, there's something else?
I think Radwan, yes, we have Radwan who raised his hand, so I think we need to answer his question. Really?
Okay, no worries.
You interest me with the word you said. When you said to him, that's when I call you a business. I want to know what are the factors that you are selecting to say that's a good business or a profitable business or a dead business. What makes the business is profitable, in another word?
I think a profitable business is a profit.
I know, but what are the factors? I see there is some factors you see in startup or business when you say this
Okay.
business is going to blow up. You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay. Successful businesses. I think first is the team. The team. So I always look at the team. Is the team having the right skill set? And they have the right, in different departments that they can be able to complement each other. So team is very critical, and the team must be very, very aligned, 100%. Because sometimes you have a team and the team, they're not aligned. Somebody has different visions that are different from the organization. Somebody want to go pursue masters, yet they want to be shareholders. When you want to draw money from the account, they're not available. There's no accountability. Very, very important. And then number two, of course, is a product that you have. Is it answering a solution? Is it a solution to a problem, an existing problem? If the answer is yes, you have a business. Then the third for me is always the timing. So the timing, it can be a good idea, but you're doing it at the wrong time. For example, we are just past COVID. So if, let's say, you are innovating around ventilators and stuff, I don't think you'd be in business. So sometimes the timing is, you have to look at that this is the moment this particular service or product is needed. And if that timing aligns with the other factors, then you have a profitable business.
Okay, thank you. I have another question too, if you allow me. It's a quick one. Would you prefer a solo founder or a team?
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm a solo founder, so I need to ask.
Both have different. When you become maybe older and maybe with more capital, when you don't need to maybe to have more people join the company so you can make it alone, then perhaps you go for sole proprietorship, where you have idea, you fund it and kick it and start it from the very, very beginning. But at the stage where we are in, I'll speak like, for example, the mindset of investors. When you walk into the room and you are pitching to a panel of investors, and they see that you don't have a team, you don't have, let's say, co-founders, that's already a red alert for most investors. Ideally, that's already like a red warning for them. Because the risk is that if something happens to you, then they won't get their money back. You see, if they invest in your business, because you're just one person. But if you are 2-3 people, they always checks and balances, and there's also like when somebody's not there, somebody steps up. And so if you look at it in the face of investors and other support ecosystem, they prefer, you'll succeed more if you have a CEO who is a co-founder, maybe a CTO, chief technical officer, and maybe somebody on accounts or chief financial officer or something. So they need to see like different skill set, and that there's kind of balance of power.
Okay, thank you. Well understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome. All right. So I guess that comes to the end. Haida?
Maybe I have a
Yes, I think.
question, Hidayah.
Yes, Mr. Garbi Munir have a question. Can you answer it?
Oh, there's one person with a question. Yes. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Garbi Mohamed Munir. I'm a sub-director in Ministry of Agriculture and Fishing. I'm member of the Committee of Globalization. Thank you, Leancubator, for this opportunity to participate in this meeting. There is a lot of startup here with us, like Martes and other champion, and soon the Algerian champion in a lot of domain like economy blue and other activities and agriculture. I want to ask about the collaboration between Kenya and Algeria, especially with the most important actor, the accelerator, and also the incubator. Between Algeria, if we can put some activities special about blue economy and agriculture. And why not if you can give us some information about the activities of AFBAN, what you program to do here in Algeria, and what's the most activities that can start up from Algeria benefit, and also which why we don't see a lot of startup in Kenya in the internationalization. You talk about SMC Venture Kenya about feeding and other startups, but the activities it's all only in Kenya. What's your advice if we want to help some startup to be as present in the international area in Africa or in other countries? Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, sir. I think that's a very, very good question and a very, very important question. And to answer it, maybe as a last question, definitely, I mean, in terms of, so 3 questions, I'll start with the first one. In terms of potential activities, I think what could happen is almost in the format where we had with Italy. And Narita was here in the meeting as well. Our colleague who was a spoke, and she was able to bring 10 countries together into what we call an open innovation program. So what open innovation program means is that let's say you connect Algerian startup with Kenyan business people or Kenyan market holders or whoever needs their service. And then there's technical exchange between the startup and the industry. So including physical visits between the two. And it can lead one into developing of the startup, some of their projects, they can be able to deploy them directly in the country. So when we did that with Italy, I have 2 Kenyan startups that now are doing something with Italian agencies and Italian corporations, and I think that for me is very sustainable.
في شيء هذاك اللي بعث لي تاع لوندا خرج لي بيزار حطيته في الدوكس بس ما عنديش
مدام ميكروفون
عنديش
ديالك
وورد
برك مدام خولة مدام خولة s'il vous plaît.
All right, I think somebody
خرج عندي كالي
if you
مدام
can
خولة ديري ميوت برك الميكروفون ديالك s'il vous plaît.
وي كنت كما
Yes, David. You talked about the program Startup 10. Yes.
Yes,
There is a
Startup
lot
10.
of African champion participate also from Algeria. There is some one of the most important startup Rostom in
Yes.
agriculture.
أنا بعد
Yes,
حطينا
exactly.
البروميير جور كنت
Thank
حطها
you.
ايفنت برايت بعد كي بدنا الفورميلا واحد ما سجل
So
دوك نحاول نمتهم الفورميلا
So I think we can take that discussion after this meeting. and be able to co-design something, because I know I've been to Algeria many times, so I also have quite a bit of understanding of the country. I have a lot of friends, including in top government, and I'll be happy. And sometimes you might even find that there are organizations that are willing to fund this kind of engagement. So we have Kenyan and Algerian startups in open innovation to expose each other in terms of what's possible, even in terms of scale, in terms of the technology, in terms of the fundraising and bits like that. So I think that is something that I'll welcome, and I hope that we can discuss beyond this. And then and I think it can also go, we can narrow down to a sector, for example, in the agriculture space and the blue economy space, where I think also we have also a bit of strength. Now, on the other question about AFBAN, so AFBAN is well under kicking. We launched in Algiers. I think it has been now 2 years. There is a bit on building of the foundation and the structures and the legal stuff. We hope that probably by the end of this year, we will have already fundraised and we can be able to start to deploy the funding. The AFBAN was based on a rotational kind of hosting. So the next host is Egypt in Cairo after Algiers. And we know that when the good thing with AFBAN is that when we start investing, every country gets its fair share, depending on the viability of the startup. And I think that for me is very, very critical, because it was kind of inclusivity, or making it the opportunity available for every startup within the corner of the continent. So I think that's what I'll say about AFBAN. And the last one is on the why Kenyan startups may be more visible than in the international platform, I think. Yeah, so I think
maybe David, it's not like that, but we need to see some startups work and do some activities outside his country, because when I give to you the example about Sea Venture Kenya, it's one of the most important startup in feeding. Aquaculture is the same thing. Some startup from Kenya can find the market here, and also some startup for Algeria in different activities, agriculture or aquatech or other, can find a market in other countries, and Kenya can do something for our startup, and also Algeria can find market from some startup from Kenya. It's my question.
Let's talk, sir. I think that definitely is, and maybe one of the reasons why I came for this meeting is so that we can be able to create this kind of collaboration frameworks. We just opened our office in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania last month. So the whole of January, and now we have already activities, and we already have a project funded by GIZ focused on the blue economy, and that shows also our appetite for country collaboration. Perhaps maybe our next destination, inshallah, could be Algiers, with your support, and we craft again based on the needs of both sides. A working program, and that is able to give back and be able to support as many startups as possible to go to the next level. So I think for me, that's something that I will welcome, definitely. Yeah.
Very well, very well. Thank you, David, for all your answers. And I invite my colleagues from Leancubator, with Abd Fattah Nisreen and all the team, to collaborate with David. Why not to organize African Kenyan challenge, or Algerian Kenyan program to support startup in blue economies, or to find the market? Why not outside Africa? It's very important to collaborate. As today, Algeria and Kenya work a lot to have a market for our startup in Africa. We organize the ETF exhibition. It's one of the most important event in Africa, and why not? We try to collaborate to find other markets in outside Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, David.
answering all the questions. We have Selma.
Thank you very
Alright.
much, everyone.
Ciao.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the participants and thank you, Sir David.
Thank you very much, Mr. David, and for the organization of Leancubator. صحة فطوركم.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
شكرا.
Ramadan Kareem. Thank you.
Ah,
Thank you.
Oh,
ah.
okay.